Yes, guys, what's going on? Welcome to AdamMcKola TV. We are back for another United Daily Live on this Tuesday morning, and I hope you guys are all doing well. I say morning, it's afternoon. It feels like morning because we're all waking up late during this lockdown, unless, of course, you're one of those few that have to still go to work. Then fair play to you guys. Thank you for helping make things tick over wherever you are. But guys, welcome to the show. This is AdamMcKola TV, if you don't know, and this is United Daily Live, if you didn't know as well. And we are live every single day. Monday, 10:30 p.m. It's a late slot. And then every single day, the rest of the week, it's at 12 p.m. UK time every single day. And then you get another upload. So later on today, you are getting the MUFC Rumour Rater. Yesterday, you also got, what was it yesterday? That we had the Premier League Gazette. How could I forget? You had the Premier League Gazette go up yesterday. Tomorrow, Master Debaters. Thursday, Weekly United. Friday, you have straight up MUFC. Saturday, Football Manager content. And Sunday, you have the Pod to Nowhere. So make sure you're keeping it locked here on AdamMcKola TV as we get stuck into all the content. And today, I've been reading about a player that I was asked a few weeks ago, who is the player that upset you the most in terms of, had the potential, you wanted to fulfill that potential, you wanted them to come through at Manchester United? Who is the player that you wish came through at United that didn't quite make it through at United for whatever reason? And my answer is Ravel Morrison. And actually, after David Beckham, after Sir Alex Ferguson, Ravel Morrison is one of those that I really, really want to interview because his story is very, very interesting. Now, he's been speaking about Wayne Rooney's comments, Rio Ferdinand's comments. A number of different former Manchester United players have come out with comments in regards to this fella in recent weeks, Rooney, Rio, etc., and how good the player was. And he's been reacting to those comments, speaking about them on TalkSport. He's been speaking to TalkSport about those comments themselves and exactly, how he feels about almost making it at Manchester United, having the potential to make it, being in that team with Paul Pogba and not quite making it. And he also asked for his thoughts on, those comments from Rio and Wayne Rooney. So we'll get those quotes very, very soon. But first things first, I have to thank Andrew White, who was the latest member to have joined AdamMcKola TV up until Joshua Mercer literally just joined AdamMcKola TV. So thank you to those two fellas for being the latest members on AdamMcKola TV. Andrew White and Joshua Mercer. PKC the first also joined as well just before Andrew. So thank you very much to those guys for joining AdamMcKola TV. We now have 39 members. The members get exclusive content on a monthly basis. You get an extra video. You get to be have extra emojis, avatars and things in the chat. You can join the Discord. You can get your questions in for Q&As. You can get your questions in for player interviews. And you're basically helping support the growth of the channel. So thank you very much to Joshua, and thank you very much to Andrew White for being the latest members of the channel. If you want to join, or you want more information on joining before you do join, then click that join button when we're finished here and check it out there. But thank you very much, Joshua. Really appreciate your support. I can see Gary, Damien, Prakar, David Brent, I'm not sure it's the real one, Atif, or Tiff, Daniel, Rise Up, Ryans, Jamie, Zach, all in the comments. So thank you very much for joining us here on AdamMcKola TV. And Joshua's gone in by saying, I'm sure you always see me commenting in the live stream. Love your content. You kept me going with this virus. I tested positive for it 6 weeks and all I could do was watch you and Steve and FTD. Mate, first things first, I hope you're on the road to recovery, and I hope you're feeling a lot better. And I'm glad that I could be of some sort of assistance in helping you through your recovery and helping you keep you sane. Trust me, you lot are helping keep me sane as well. Because without me making this content, I'd be cracking up somewhere in the corner of a room just singing the Anthony Martial song. Absolutely losing my head. But anyway, let's get stuck into these comments now from Ravel Morrison. And Wayne Rooney had said that he's the best player that he saw. He was better than Paul Pogba, he was better than Jesse Lingard. And Ravel Morrison has come out and said, obviously there are amazing comments, especially from the player Wayne Rooney is. He's probably one of the best ever to come out of England, if not the best. But it makes you a bit upset as well, because I could have gone a bit further. I should have gone a bit further, and I'm still hoping to go further. I knew I had ability, but I didn't realise, and I understand these players' thoughts at the time. Sorry, but I didn't realise and I didn't understand these players' thoughts at the time. If I could sit down and go back through my life, there'd be a lot of things I would change. It was an everyday thing for me when I was young, growing up at United. It was a nice environment to go into every day with world-class players. It was enjoyable, and I know it's poor, but because I was there from under nines, I would skip training some days. I would wake up and I would just skip it. I don't know why. Um, that's that's sad, man. Um, that's sad, man. Having all that talent and tossing it away. I would die for half that talent just to be getting that opportunity, and I'm sure you people in the comments are exactly the same. Exactly the same, like what you would give to play for United. Now that's not saying Ravel Morrison never appreciated it, but sometimes when you're given maybe opportunities and maybe things aren't right for you off the pitch, maybe things aren't right for you mentally. He was a young man as well, easily influenced probably by those around him. You know, growing up was a working class lad in a difficult area as well. I imagine it's not easy for him, but those are making excuses. He ultimately still had the opportunity, and like he says, some days he just wouldn't go in, and he didn't know why. And it's really mental to think that, and he has to be, you know, the player that you think of the most, and you just think, damn, I wish he made it at Manchester United. There was a few others like Giuseppe Rossi that had injuries, and you know, there's been odd players that have come through, David Petrucci and players, Sylvan Ebank, Fraser Campbell, all these guys that have come through, and you think, wow, look at these talents. Adnan Januzaj, they don't quite go on to make it. But out of all of them, Ravel Morrison was different because he was better, because he was a level above. If you think of him being a level above Paul Pogba and what Paul Pogba has gone on to achieve, you'd think, wow, imagine this kid was still about, still developed as he should have done. He still, you know, carried on with his career, kept developing at Manchester United, where he would be now. He's of the age where he should be in this team. He should be in this team. If he was playing for Man United and developed, we probably wouldn't have had to sign a Bruno Fernandes because he would be in this team in that position. And it's a massive, massive shame. It's a massive shame. And I remember him scoring, I think it was at Anfield in the FA Youth Cup. I might be wrong, but someone can correct me on this one. And he was absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, he scored the opening goal against Chelsea. I'm sure he did something. He turned up against Liverpool. Or was it that he got sent off against Liverpool for headbutting? Added 2 more goals in the second leg of the Youth Cup final against Sheffield United. A match which United went on to win 4-1, securing the title 6-3 on aggregate. That was the game, obviously, where Harry Maguire played as well. I was pretty sure he did it against Liverpool, but maybe he just got sent off against Liverpool and I've remembered it all wrong. But this lad was talented. This lad was talented. And he unfortunately threw it all away. Now, I have a soft spot for him. I want him to still do well. I don't look at him and think, oh, he's a fucking idiot. He threw it all away. I still want him to do well. I still want him to you know, try. Imagine just break. He got to some sort of level in football again, Premier League level maybe even. He was at Sheffield United. I know he didn't get a chance, but you know, I just hope that he has some sort of enjoyment from football, so he doesn't look back with it full of regrets constantly. Like we were speaking to McKola the other month, and yeah, he has regrets and he looks back on football and his time at United with a little bit of disappointment, but he also had that moment, do you know what I mean? And Ravel Morrison hasn't had those moments. He teared it up in training with the first team, he teared it up with the academy team, he got a few opportunities for the first team. He had that great goal for West Ham against Spurs, if you remember, in the Premier League, when it seemed that the penny had final dropped, and then it went down with big Sam Allardyce. And it's just a massive shame, and I hope he goes on to have some sort of decent career and does something with him. Would you ever consider giving him a second chance if he turns it around, says Rory. He hasn't played at any, you know, he's been at Sheffield United, never really got through there. Difficult to see him getting through there because of the way they play and the style of play. But he didn't get a chance there, so you can't really look at that and then say, right, just bring him back into United. You know what I mean? That's unfair on other people. Now, I'm one of them romantics that would fall in love with a story. I believed in David Moyes, for fuck's sake. But, you know, imagine he just got a chance to train with the team again, got back to being, like, I would love that. But it's a very unrealistic and it wouldn't be right. What have I missed? Notifications didn't work. We've just been speaking about Ravel Morrison's comments. And he was speaking about how he knew he had ability, but he didn't realise and understand the players' the players like Rio and Rudy's thoughts at the time. If I could sit back and go through my life, there'd be a lot of things I would change. I know it was poor, but because I was there at United from under nines, I would skip training some days. I would wake up and I would just skip it. I don't know why, and that's so sad. And like Rise Up says, the mentality just wasn't there. Some players have it, some players don't, and unfortunately he didn't have it, and that's a damn shame. Nah, Josh, you don't need to apologise, my mate. You don't need to apologise at all. Thank you very much for joining, regardless of when it was. Abhishek Kiko Makeda's goal against Villa was mint. George joined us. He's still only 27. I'll say he's at a Premier League club and clearly very confident in his own abilities. I'm certain he could still become a solid Premier League player if he worked for it. His ability is very natural. His talent is very natural. The things that he does with a football, it's natural to him. And yeah, you could see him still having that ability that he has. You see him uploading clips and training clips and things like that. It's a massive shame. Massive shame. Big fan of Ravel Morrison's, and best of luck to him with the rest of his career. I hope he goes on to do alright. And Rodri says, just shows that talent isn't everything. Gotta have the right mentality. Hard work beats talent if talent doesn't work hard, as they say, says Al. And you look at, I know people criticise Jesse Lingard a lot now, but Jesse Lingard was probably someone that had half the talent of Ravel Morrison and worked twice as hard, and his dedication got him through. You know, he saw him go out on loan, come back and prove to be a reasonable success for United. Obviously now you look at him and he might believe and he might be staying, you don't know what's going to happen, but he's had times where he has been a success, and that was down to hard work. You don't score winners in the FA Cup final if you're not a success. Like anything, if you don't put the effort in, it won't work out, says Andrew. How would Sky Sports other channels benefit if matches are streamed free on YouTube, says Bargav. So you see in one of the other headlines there, and it's that Premier League games could be streamed on YouTube for free by the likes of Sky, BT, Amazon, etc. Now, you look at football, and if it goes ahead, we're going to have behind closed doors games. So that means the regulations on there being no televised 3 o'clock kickoffs will, I'm sure, disappear until fans are back inside stadiums. So with that being said, on a weekend you used to get a Friday game, 2 or 3 live on Saturday, and 1 or 2 live on a Sunday. So you get like 4 or 5 games live over a weekend. So there'd always be 3, 4, 5 games that were never televised. Never televised. And I imagine it's those games that would now be televised on YouTube and streaming devices for free. And then you'd still have the games, your Super Sunday games, your Friday night football, your Monday night football games would still be on Sky Sports, on BT Sport, on Amazon. You'd still have those games on those because Sky and BT and all those people have their packages, so they expect to get those football games for a pay-per-view basis. So we'd still have to all get our BT and Sky packages back. I've cancelled mine for now, put it on pause. So we'd all have to go and get that back. But then the games that would usually be, I imagine, 3 o'clock or not televised, would be available for free on the streaming devices for people that can't. Obviously, you can't watch games at home now, at grounds now. So that's how it would work, I imagine, in that regard. Now, I've seen something from Gordon Taylor from the PFA earlier, and he'd been speaking. Let me just bring this quote up. I had shared it recently, so let me bring this quote up. One second. So PFA Chief Executive Gordon Taylor says half less Halves less of under 45 minutes are an option. PFA Chief Exec Gordon Taylor has suggested halves of less than 45 minutes could be considered when football resumes. How the fuck is that stopping the coronavirus? How? How is that stopping 45-minute halves of football? Are you on crack? So is the coronavirus only going to be active for the first 35 minutes of each half, is it? So you're just going to play 35, 40 minutes hard? I don't understand how reducing the game time makes any difference. And surely we're hearing about more substitutes, reduced game time, this, that, behind closed doors, no home advantage. Fucking what next? No VAR, no fucking two footballs at once. Like, what is the point? How does this change anything? It should resume if it's safe to resume. How does playing smaller games mean that it's safer? It doesn't. And it completely changing the game. Games are won in the last 5-10 minutes of games. So many times. I think Liverpool probably end up the most points from games in the 85th plus minute. So how are you then going to start ending games at that time? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. If football can go ahead as normal behind closed doors, with as normal I mean the normal rules, then fine, do it. But if you're having to change the rules and shit, what's the point? You're literally moving the goalposts. Like Steve tweeted earlier, you're literally moving the goalposts because you're changing the rules. It doesn't make any sense. If you can play 45 minutes halves, alright. Behind closed doors, alright. I understand you're still going to be disappointed about no home advantage and all that stuff. But shortening the games, how does that make any sense? How does that make any sense? It doesn't. So fuck Gordon Taylor. It doesn't know what he's talking about. Having an absolute mare. And they're just being slaves to the money at the moment. Now I know the money is important for these football clubs. I know the television money is important. I know it can have disastrous effects for people's jobs and the clubs. But if it's not safe, changing the rules and all that doesn't make any sense. You wouldn't introduce VAR into a season halfway through. So how can you start saying, alright, everyone can have 5 subs now. The game's only 35 minutes, 40 minutes each half. Yeah, it's like school football. Remember when you couldn't play 45 minutes until like you were like 15, 16? That's what it's like. I don't understand it. Yes, Zaid, how you doing, mate? An extra sub isn't a bad idea for fatigue and injury purposes, but the rest is absolute bollocks. I agree, but I disagree as well, Al. Because of the fact that it's changing the rules, you know what I mean? You can now have 4 subs. So teams can get a goal up, put 3, 4 extra defenders on now. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me, man. Nehemiah, how you doing? Late again. Fuck it, let's have 7 aside nets, says Con. Yes, Daffyd, how you doing, mate? Guys, get hitting that like button, get commenting, get sharing, get subscribing, get joining if you can, and of course, get subscribing to AdamMcKola TV. We've now hit over 70,000 subscribers. We're trying to hit 75k by the end of the May. It's a little bit of a stretch. It's a little bit of, trying to shoot for the stars here to get 5k in a month, but maybe it's possible. Maybe it's possible. So come on, get hitting that subscribe button if you can. We're here live on AdamMcKola TV with United Daily Live, and Gordon Taylor of the PFA suggesting there should be no longer 45 minutes halves if football goes ahead. How does that make any sense? Ravel Morrison's revealed his regret in some recent quotes to Talk Sport. And thank you to Joshua Mercer, Andrew White and PKC the First for being the latest members on AdamMcKola TV. Remember the Spartans, bro. I do indeed. Neil, how you doing, mate? Hope you're doing well. And afternoon to you. Keep the rules the same. Play it behind closed doors. We'll ruin the game, changing everything. And that is bang on, Andrew. It doesn't make any sense to start changing everything. I actually have an appetite to see football return. I know it means Liverpool win the league. I don't care about that anymore. I want something to talk about. I want something to watch. I want something to do as everybody else. But if it's not safe and, then I can't see it happening. And how many people getting infected is it worth for them? How many people getting put in intensive care is it worth for them? How many people dying is it worth for them? Because surely you have to put a limit on that. So what do you do? Well, as soon as someone gets it again, or someone, what happens then? You're going to stop everything now. Yeah. So, I don't know, because that's a possibility, isn't it? Yes, Minnie, how you doing? Favourite Oasis tune? Oh, Ryan's Slide Away, maybe. Slide Away is a banger. That's probably it. Talk Tonight's also a banger. Half the World Away is a banger, because that reminds me of Royal Family, but nevertheless it is a banger. So yeah, possibly those. Put me on the spot a little bit. Pete Savage is in the house. How you doing, mate? Liverpool winning their first league title in a stadium full of cardboard cutouts and not being able to have a parade makes it worth it, says Al. It is a weird one, isn't it? And especially if you consider there won't be fans at football next season either, at least for the start of it. It could be a very, very long time until they've got that trophy in front of their fans, which, they've won it, so I'm sure they don't give a shit anyway. But nevertheless, it takes a little bit off it, doesn't it? Which is great for me. Some might say, says Tiff, listen up, and Supersonic says Rye. I like it already, same as every show, always keeping it locked. And yes, Glenn, nice one, mate. Yes, Ash, what's going on, brother? Hope you're doing well. Today, by the way, is 11 years since Manchester United beat Arsenal in the Champions League in those blue shirt. In this blue shirt here, we beat them in this shirt. And funny story, I was watching the game. I was watching the game as a student at that point. I was watching the game at my house with 3 of my mates. 2 of my mates were Reds. One of them was an Arsenal fan. So it was me, Am, and Binder, James. And we're chilling there watching the game. United win, obviously. We're having a session, we're having a drink, getting a little bit partied up. I think the weather was quite nice that day as well. So it was a good day. And we were all in our shirts, in these blue shirts. It would have been on a Tuesday or a Wednesday because it was a Champions League night. So 3 of us were in these blue shirts. Our one mate was in an Arsenal shirt. Bless him. The score was 3-1. And we all ended up going out. Now, if you were a student in Birmingham at that point, you probably went gatecrasher every now and then. And that's where we ended up. And we ended up on a night out in gatecrasher, in our blue United shirts. 3 of us, 1 Arsenal fan, 3-1. Happy days. Yes, Tiff, how you doing? That shirt just reminds me of Cristiano Ronaldo and Kiko Makeda. He scored against Sunderland in that one, I think, which was great. That third goal that night, what a night it was. What a night it was. Best counter-attacking goal ever. Could be. There was another good one United did against Arsenal. A different game. Wayne Rooney scored, I think. And also, one we scored against Fulham was pretty sick. Chief Leafs Viva Igalo t-shirt has arrived. Great shirt. Tried it. Good quality. Hope it doesn't wash away. Nice one, mate. I tried to select the premium quality on there. Which one did you get? The black? The black one. I've washed my black one a few times and it's fine. I've washed my white one as well. Because the white ones, it's a different print on the white shirt to the black shirt. So, yeah. The white one looks a little bit lighter, but it doesn't wash off either. And if it does wash off, you need to send it back to Teespring and tell them, send me another one for free, you bellends, because this shouldn't be happening after a wash. You know what I mean? But thank you very much, Chief, and I hope it's a nice shirt. Send me a tweet or tag me in an Instagram story shot or something and I'll share it. Thank you very much. Evra said in his podcast, Ronaldo agreed to come back in 2 weeks before Fergie retired. He told the players he'd build a team to win the Champions League again. Also mentioned Gareth Bale in that as well, Josh, which was interesting. Imagine Fergie with Bale and Ronaldo and all that. We do win the Champions League again, don't we? It would have been interesting whether it was, you know, one of those things that was discussed, and if Fergie stays, probably still doesn't happen because Spurs sell Bale to Real Madrid and Ronaldo doesn't leave or something like that. We know what Ronaldo was like, but yeah, if it could have happened, we would have won. We would have won that, definitely. No Puma or Adidas today, Damien. Am I 25 minutes late or are you 25 minutes early? Manav, you are 25 minutes late, my mate. But not to bother, because as soon as we're finished here, you can rewind it to watch the bits that you didn't see. Who checked out the latest Last Dance episodes? Fingers crossed they opened the wine shop today. No, Rooney's 100th Premier League goal when he clocked an insanely fast speed across the Emirates to finish it off. What a goal. I think that's the one I was thinking of, mate, with Part G involved in there. Yes, Chief, got the black one. The black one's probably the best one. Evra, come on, boss, you love this game. Greenwood is the Mac. The man. You star dog, says Neil. Which is probably a hint at something else. Guys, how you doing anyway? Any more questions for me? There's not much to chat about today. Let me check news now, see what's popping here. We've been linked with Joel Hugill in a 300 grand deal. MU Foundation has made another donation, 300k to partner schools. Fair play to them. Scott McTominay did a pretty cool back heel thingy crossbar challenge thing, which was nice. Defender thrilled with Manchester United interest as sport witness. Left back Fatou Moussa. Fatou Moussa has been linked with Manchester United in France. And he said, I don't let it go to my head. It's nice. I won't lie. It's really nice to see clubs like that be interested. It's just a pleasure, really. But like I said, I'm really happy at Rennes. I feel good and I stay grounded. With the season we did, I think we're all a bit sought after. But personally, I'm happy at Rennes. We've got the Champions League. There's no real reason for me to go seeing as I'm really happy here. So yeah, if you keep saying you're happy here, maybe someone will believe you and you won't go anywhere. My favourite ever United goal. That's a difficult one to just whittle it down to one. If you had to whittle it down to one, I'm sure everyone's would end up being the 99 goal by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But my favourite goal since Fergie left United is Martial's against Everton in the Wembley semi-final. Against Everton, that was probably my favourite goal since Fergie left. 99 was one that I was in the ground for. Solskjaer against Liverpool was nuts when I was 10. It's a lot of great goals, man. It's just too hard to put it down to one. You'd have to do like 10, wouldn't you? And maybe that's something I could do for a video. Maybe that's something I can do for Cantona versus Sunderland. What a shout. For the celebration alone, Tiff, but what a shout. Dara says, what year is Greenwood going to win the Ballon d'Or? I reckon about 2023. And Abhishek said exactly the same thing, which I think if it doesn't mean it's going to happen, then what is going to happen? PSG goal. Shout, Chief. Rooney's penalty versus Blackburn. That's a good one as well. The weigh-in for that was mad, wasn't it? Ronaldo versus Fulham away, 06-07 says Aaron. That's another good shout. When he ran over to Gabby. Gabby. Martial's first, Wanfield, another good shout. Con says Martial's first, Neil says Wanfield. Some good shouts coming in here. But yes, guys, Rooney's overhead against City as well. How could we forget that? And the last goal that we were in Old Trafford for was a memorable one as well. Obviously Martial's goal, but McTominay's Sela against Manchester City. But guys, thank you very much for tuning in to AdamMcKola TV United Daily Live today. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you all after we discussed Ravel Morrison's regrets. Fingers crossed we can speak an interview into existence on that one. United have been linked with a £300,000 deal, contrary to what I've put in my graphic. for teen Joe Hugill from Sunderland. Premier League games could be free to view on YouTube, and the director of football no longer in active pursuit for Manchester United. The latest headlines, as well as Gordon Taylor trying to change everything about football just to get it to go ahead again. Guys, I've been AdamMcKola. You lot have been legends. Thank you very much for tuning in. And for now, I've been AdamMcKola. I'm out of here.